Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube, social media, anywhere who's going to view this video. I do understand Christmas is here, and I do understand everybody's off, and I do understand everybody watches social media, whatever the case is. We do appreciate your time for watching our videos in reference to what has been going on since we moved here in 2019. So, as of today, or even as of yesterday, other papers were filed. Trenton Department of Education for Special Needs was called. We were told to file other documents, which we did. We were also told to contact the OAL Administrative Office because this other judge is refusing to uphold Judge Cookson's court order. Judge Cookson's court order states on court record, it's a high priority case. This child needs to be evaluated right away. It also states that time that is being missed will be allotted. It also states extra teachers, extra tutoring, extra help, everything will be provided by the district. It also states that she's not to be denied in a free, appropriate education. It also states that she does not care what the district has to do. They need to educate her. It also states to immediately put her on virtual home instruction ASAP and start evaluating her. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put it to you like this. Okay? We did 2 videos already. We're back to myself number 2. I'm sorry. This is my second video. My daughter just did hers. So, with all this being said, we have emails from the attorney stating, no matter what, we will keep you posted and contact you and let you know what's going on. Right? And we're all supposed to be in the knowing of everything that's going on. So, with all this being said, if a case is settled back in November 19, 2021 from Judge Cookson, right? And I quote, consent forms were signed to see Dr. Pratt, right? And I quote, guess what? Consent forms were signed. They were signed to have her tested. We asked to know what was going to be available. We asked questions. I'm sorry, guys, I'm trying to find all her emails from this attorney to go for verbatim of what she was saying. I do apologize. You know, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I'm saying the right things. So it states a lot of things in Judge Cookson's court order. Okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, if you have a case that was court ordered, right, or anything, so why are we still not upholding a court order? Why were we not notified of changes of judges? Why were we not notified if Dr. Pratt was not available? Why couldn't, you know, she contact us? But unfortunately, that never happened, as you can tell. So, let's see. December 15th, status agreement. November 19th, papers that have been signed, right? Let's see. Testing papers, doctor, all this stuff and everything, sent it back. The mother sent it to Carrie Ring. Oh, here we go. Here's your settlement. This is what we agree upon. Oh, here we go. The parties agree that MD's IEP will be amended to reflect placement of home instruction pending identification of a new school. The district's available home instructors will contact the parents directly to schedule home instruction sessions for MD. The district agrees to immediately initiate an early reevaluation MD without the need to convene an evaluation plan meeting to include the following assessments: educational evaluation, psychological, social history, psychiatric evaluation, neurological, and the parent hereby provide their consent to the district's evaluations of MD and agree to produce MD for the above assessment to execute any necessary authorizations for the release of information during reevaluation. Number 5, upon completion of MD's reevaluation, the parties shall convene on eligibility determination meeting, review, and revise IEP meeting to review the results of MD's reevaluation and discuss the recommendations regarding MD's placement and program. The parties enter into this agreement in order to reach mutual agreeable compromise with respect to the parents' request for emergent relief, and nothing set forth herein shall be treated as an admission of fact, law, or liability by either party for any purpose. This is Judge Cookson's court order. And this actually came from Sharif Tariqa of counsel. This is the stipulation of agreement. And it was done above matter in accordance with the terms placed on record before the Honorable Judge Gail M. Cookson's ALJ on November 3rd, 2021. Fully executed document to Judge Cookson for incorporation into final order. Right? Wow. Here we go. She sent an email. MD receiving home instruction from district, attaches a copy of this is from Miss Tariqa, and it's from November 18th. So that order came in November 3rd. She sent us this as Miss Bihar notes, but MD's receiving home instruction from the district. No, she wasn't. Attaches a copy of the stipulation of agreement signed solely by the district's representative. I am not in receipt of any signatures from the parents. I'm requesting that the parents sign the attached stipulation of terms agreed upon both parties before Judge Cookson on November 3rd. Guys, this was signed and sent back because it's got my notes all over it. All over it. Everywhere. So once again, we are going to keep going back and forth with the district. We are going to keep fighting. And you call the administrative law office and tell them what this other judge is doing. Because the ALL judge is higher than the Administrative Law Office of Judge. Yeah? So you take orders from special education in Trenton, okay? They tell you what to do. You contact them, OAL, and let them know that this Judge Thomas R. Betancourt will not uphold a stipulation that was signed and returned and court ordered, everything with parent signature on it. Not even that. You tell them that there's also a conflict of interest with the judge and the attorney because they are way too friendly when you're on the conference call. How dare an attorney call a parent a liar? And the judge is okay with that. And yes, not my husband. And then when you're cross-examining the attorney, it's okay for her to yell at you and talk to you, and the judge just, oh, the phone call is disconnected by the Office of Administration. So in our constitutional rights that has been stipulated, you have every right in your amendment, your constitution, your Bill of Rights, even as a citizen, a taxpayer, and as a parent for special education, to cross-examine the other individual. I cross-examine the attorney. Oh no, the judge got mad at me for that. Because I was questioning her, what happened to the other stipulation that was put into play? What happened to that? But he hung up the phone on me. Then you contact the OLA people and they tell you what to do. Send the court order over, write them what's wrong, and this and that. And you get a message back today stating they will not get involved. The OLA will not get involved, that the Trenton has to uphold the judge's court order. Okay, but here's the thing. We spoke to Trenton. Trenton told us to call the OLA office and let them know that this other judge is refusing to uphold another judge's court order. And this attorney, Sherry Tarika, wants to go on court record stating that the Dr. Pratt was not available. Were we notified of that? No. But here we go again. So yesterday, I got asked questions by Trenton asking me, why are we back in court for the same thing if there was no disagreements? Nobody appealed it. Why are we going through the same thing again? Why am I signing consent forms again? To have my child tested when it's already court ordered? Why are we doing this again? Why? So I emailed this lady back and I told her I spoke to you about this morning and I told you what was going on and I told you that Trenton told me to contact you. And she even told her name is Sharon Jeffers. She even turned around and said to me on the phone this morning that the other judge has to enforce and uphold the other judge's court order. Wow. That's great, right? That's really great. So everybody in the state of New Jersey, all around goddamn world, your taxpayers' money is helping the district to keep my daughter out of education, to keep her out of being tested, to keep her getting the appropriate education. Now, there's also another law. There's statistics. If a child has emotional dysregulation or behavioral problems, excluding a child, especially who has issues, from education does more damage than good. They are more highly likely to get involved in more criminal activities. They are more highly to be hooked on drugs. They are more likely to fall and not be successful. They are more highly to end up homeless than anything else. So when a school turns around and says to you, oh, we can't deal with your child because they got behavior problems. Okay, so here's another thing. When your kid's special ed, right? You have to do positive reinforcement. That's what a behavioral school does. Not throw them in a quiet room to calm down, because that's all they want to do. This is why New View Academy has social workers and therapists and counselors. You can't pull a child out and say, hey, listen, let's talk about this. What's going on? Are you okay? But they come from Rutgers, right? They come from Rutgers. Yeah. And you know what the best thing about this whole entire situation is? Is that we never, ever received a termination letter. Does everybody want to know how we got a termination letter? The district never sent it to us. The Rutgers commissioner, the guy over there, emailed it to my husband on October 18th, 2021. We never had it. It was sent over to the district. It was emailed to Carrie Ring. It was emailed to Joe. Yeah, we never received a copy of it until October 18th. Yeah. We never received even her suspension letter from October 12th. We never received any type of incident report until Sharif got her hands on it. It was sent to the district's attorney. Now, if I remember correctly, Mr. Hudson went when we were in a meeting with the district and the school and the attorney on October 27th, 2021. He actually stated that those were all internal. We are not allowed to access them. That's on recording. But how did the attorney get it? It was at the parents first. Right. We want to talk about COVID. We want to sit here, boost how bad COVID is. We want to sit here, talk about we need more funding. We want to sit here, build apartments and condominiums. We want to sit here, fix the roads at the end of December because they need more funding for the state. We want to raise up toll money. We want to raise up gas money. We want to raise up living expenses for the paying American taxpayers, right? Well, guys, I hate to tell you, your taxpayer money is paying the district's attorney to keep my child from getting educated and evaluated. They're telling me they sent me consent forms. And as I was trying to explain to the judge last time, Ms. Ring did email them to me, but there's no attachment. Sharif Tariqa emailed them to me. There's no attachment. I sent an email today. It says I received consent forms. I'm like, there's no attachment to any of their emails. None. The more they delay this, the more my daughter will suffer immensely. This is doing more damage to a child who does not want to do nothing but go to school. That's all she wants. She wants people to understand her, just like any other child would. So just recently, again, there was parents that sued Montclair District because of COVID-19, because the school shut down, and those kids were special education. Yeah, because the district wouldn't provide other services that the child was entitled to, right? In certain states, and I know New Jersey has it, there's a law. It's called RIT or RIF, which states that you take the child, you put them in the school district, as they are in there, you evaluate them and then determine placement. So they want to sit here, keep talking about her IEP, her IEP, her IEP, her IEP. They keep changing the dates of re-evaluations. The last evaluations of her proposed IEP was in Bergen County, where it actually states her weaknesses, her attributes, her grade level, where she's at with reading, where she's at with math, the percentage points, the goals and the objectives, where she's strong, what she can do, where she needs areas help with, what works with her behavioral, how to handle all that. It states all that in 2019. But see, now here's another issue. The district will not admit to the fact that they screwed up. They screwed up big time. They will not admit it. They'll do everything and anything they can in their power to keep my daughter out of school, and you guys will have to continuously keep paying for her. So now here's another question. Okay? Let's only answer this. They got funding. They got money. You're going to tell me you can't hire outside tutors? You're going to tell me you can't hire outside teachers? You're going to tell me it's going to take you 6 months to get another home instructor? What kind of bullshit is that? Seriously, guys. When does this end? Where does this stop? You go through every single goddamn channels. You follow the laws as a parent. You follow your rights. You help fight, the Safeguard Protection Program law. You do everything you can for your kid. Fight, 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 fight. But nobody else will help you. They will undermine you because you don't have enough money to hire an attorney. Now, here's another thing. When you're going through a due process on Trenton's paperwork, it literally states the district attorney is not allowed because we don't have one. Is that constitutional? What is constitution these days? What is it? Is there such thing as freedom of speech anymore? Is there such thing as amendments? Is there such thing as anything else? The OLA administrative office will not get involved. They do not handle these matters. We have to talk to Trenton to have Trenton uphold the settlement agreement. Right. That's right. Right. But then why is Trenton and why is the OLA people asking me why we are back in court for the same thing? Why am I going through this again? Why am I signing consent forms again? Why am I fighting again? These are the questions that are being asked by Trenton, by the OLA, anybody you contact. Why? Why are you doing this again? You have a settlement agreement. Why are we back in court? It was proposed. It was agreed. Why are you doing this again? It went back to OLA because Judge Cookson wanted the OLA judge to uphold violations against the district. We only filed one time. We have copies of our paperwork. The attorney wants to say we filed for emergent relief? No, we didn't. We filed for due process. Yep. We filed for due process. We waived the right for mediation. We waived the right for resolution. We waived the right for all of that, as it states on Trenton's paperwork. So here it is, October 22nd, 2021. We're still fighting. Still no other consent forms. You email, the judge will not get involved. Nobody will get involved anymore. Why? Because they want us to give up and homeschool our daughter? Oh, here's another thing, by the way. If you homeschool your daughter, especially a special education child, the Board of Education actually turned around and said to us, they will not provide they will not help with the curriculum that is being offered in the school districts. They will not provide that if we want to homeschool our daughter. How is that constitutional? How's that right? We are not making these videos to for any purposes. We are making these videos to fix the injustice that is in with the school education programs, with any type of school. We are trying to fix the injustice that has been done upon a child and a family and parents as well. We want justice. That's what we want. We want justice for appropriate education. Our child to be back in education, in schooling. Half a year? By the time this is all over, guess what? It'll be June and she missed a whole year of school. Who's going to make that up to her? She would have missed a whole year of schooling. Just imagine how far behind she would be then. You call, you email this, you email that, you email this, you do everything. You can. Now this has gone way beyond out of control. And this attorney decides to go behind our backs and request another judge, a judge that she knows that we were not aware of. But now by law, it actually states in every single law that if there is a new judge involved, they have to let us know. We were never informed. We have no papers. All she says in the emails, oh, that time is no good for me. It doesn't work. It's a conflict in my schedule. And all of a sudden we have another judge? Like 2 days, what, a day? One day. We were supposed to have court December 9th with Judge Massaquis. December 10th, we go to judge with Judge Benacourt. How's that possible? Did they inform us? No. Did they tell us? No. Did she send us paperwork? No. So, isn't that violating another court order? How many court orders do we have to violate? You lose hope in the justice system and you lose hope in the education system. Union Township District Education System. No wonder why you look up all their case laws. No wonder why within the last couple of months of this year, they have been to court with the Department of Education so many goddamn times. Because they want to keep your taxpayer money in their pocket and they want to keep their funding. That's what they want to do. I still haven't heard about home instruction. Even though we're in this process, but there is still a court order that stipulates she will be on virtual home instruction. But we're violating a court order. There was no disagreements. There was no motions filed. Nothing. Nothing. Where is the justice system for education people? Where is it? Governor Murphy on Trenton's website. Oh, we're gonna implement these for special education. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. You are not doing shit. Our daughter is suffering emotionally, psychologically. She's so depressed that she's sitting there watching kids who walk up the street to go to school. She's going, why can't I go to school? Why wouldn't they take me? How do you answer that question? Does the district have a reason? No, Miss Conti said that they cannot help her in the hallways. Miss Conti said that she was an endangerment to their school district until her therapist turned around and said, no, she's not. Why? Because they're using an IEP from 2019. That's why. Miss Conti actually turned around and said they can provide her services in Union High School. That's on court recording. Just like I said, her therapist works with kids at Union High School who are worse than my child. If they can provide resource help, extra help, and everything like that for all those kids, if they can evaluate an Asperger's kid who threatened to kill everybody in the school right away, why can't they fucking follow a court order? They can evaluate this kid, they can evaluate that kid, they can do this, they can do that, but they can't evaluate my child because they screwed up from day one. The longer they delay this, the more my daughter misses in education. Who's gonna pay for that? Who's gonna pay for damages that is being bestowed upon a child? Who's gonna do that? I want everybody to know this too. There's actually a thing called Oprah. I found out it's a law, right? Every single person in the state of New Jersey can actually turn around, download the form, print it out, fill it out, and send it in and request to see how much they are paying the district's attorney. Because you're paying for it. The government's paying for it. The government funding's paying for it. You can actually file documents asking to produce of how much this attorney is getting paid. By law, you can do that. It's your right. It's our right. Let's just keep denying and denying and denying and denying and lying and lying, denying, yelling at the parents because we don't have an attorney. Where's the justice in that? Where's the Constitution in that? Not everybody in this goddamn freaking world can afford an attorney. You have to know what you're doing to battle. As you can tell, we know what we're doing. Because you call Trenton, they tell you what to do right away. Because the state of Trenton will get in trouble if they do not enforce that court order. Yeah. And now, so will everybody else. So where does this end? Who wins? Who's gonna win? They want us to give up. They want us to throw our hands in there and be like, okay, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. But why should I give up? Why should I throw my rights away? Why should I throw my husband's rights away? Why should I throw my daughter's rights away? Why should I give up? Why am I giving up? It's rightfully education belonging to my child. Just recently, in another news, a school got caught for fraud on special education children. They were revising the IEP just to get the goddamn funding. Then another child who has cerebral palsy was denied services. That's special education. Do you think a quiet room works for a child who's got behavioral issues? Do you think a quiet room works for a child who's got ADHD? Do you think a quiet room works for a child who's got depression and anxiety? Do you think that? There's statistics that out there that state that if a child does not get positive reinforcements at all, they're either A, more likely to drop out of school, or they will completely fail with no college degree. Because why? Just because a child has emotional disturbance, emotional dysregulation, behavior problems, it's no excuse to deny a child. Keep denying a child. Just keep denying a child. Denying a child. Denying a child. Well, you know what? These laws were put into place for a reason. You can pull up case file after case file after case file after case file, as I have done so. You can read every single law. There's also a law from Trump, IX, that states about special education, which clearly states that any child who has behavior problems or ED or anything like that, they are not allowed to be thrown out of school right away. Which also comes with the behavior challenge law and state put challenge law, which states that they have to do a behavioral manifestation determination exactly to see where it came from. And if it came from her disability or anything like that, that child is supposed to stay in that school up to 45 days until there's an alternate placement. She was actually supposed to be suspended up to 10 days before they decided anything else. She was only suspended 1 day. 1 freaking day, which was October 12th. 1 day. And the caseworker and Mr. Hudson have a meeting. A letter's written and sent to them on October 15th, which was a Friday. Come October 18th, you hear nothing. A bus driver telling you that your daughter's still suspended? A bus driver. This is a great education system going on here for special education from Governor Murphy. That's all I'll say. Thank you to him. How he won is beyond me. Shutting businesses down, shutting this down, shutting that down. How do you live? How do you live? How do you live? Nobody takes your phone calls in the government's office when you want to try to ask them questions, tell them what's going on. They don't care. Like the old person, we don't get involved in this. Judge Bass you have to contact Trenton. Why should I have to contact Trenton to uphold a court order when Judge Benacourt says, I don't care what the other judge did, it's in my hands? Why should I have to do that? Why should I have to sign? Why should I have to go through this whole entire process again? And then you sit there, you point out the obvious, My daughter's sick. I have no Wi-Fi connection. But she was emailing everybody on that day when she said she had no Wi-Fi connection. She was emailing me and my husband. She had no Wi-Fi connection. Wow. Yeah. And then, oh, well, I need extra time. I can't have documents until 11 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. What was the other excuse she had? Wi-Fi connection, her daughter's sick. There was one more. Oh, yeah. And then she also actually requested another judge from Judge Cookson, too. And she even put in there, me and my husband, I am excluding the OAL out of this and the judge. Maybe we can come up with a settlement. The district's ready to settle. So you are promised and court ordered to do all of these things. You see how much lies come out of everybody, and you keep catching them, you keep catching them, and you keep throwing it at them, you keep throwing at them, you keep throwing it at them. Just admit to the truth. Why is it so hard for the district's attorney to keep you informed of what's going on if the district will not talk to you, as it states in the court order and in her email? Because they want me to give up. You have all these laws. You have Learning Disability Act of New Jersey. You have Disability Rights of New Jersey. You have Behavioral Manifestation, the Behavior Challenge Law. You have the State Put Challenge Law. You have the ADHD law. You have Children's Rights Law. You have the Parents or Special Education Rights Law. You have the Safeguard Protection Law. You have the Oprah Law. You have all of these laws for special education to protect your child, to help them in every way possible as much as you can, and you're trying to do the right thing by advocating for your daughter, for advocating for your child, and all you get is what? This all could have been avoided from day one if the district turned around and said, you know what, we're sorry, we're screwed up. Let's sit down and fix this before this gets any worse. But guess what, guys? It just did. Because now the fight has just begun. I am not giving up. I'm going to fight for my daughter. I'm going to fight for her education. And I am going to fight for every single special education law to be upheld. My child has to suffer because of the laziness, because of funding, because they want to defraud everybody, because of their insensitivity, because of their, I don't know what to call them, because of their disgrace of Union Township District. And they go to school for what? They are not social workers. They are not case managers. They are nothing. They're never there. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to deal with you. Neither does the county. You contact them, can't help you. Then how are you in office? This Judge Benacourt keeps talking about, my wife's a teacher. I know there's such a shortage. I know. It doesn't matter if your wife's a teacher or not. There is funding to provide any type of education for a child who is not receiving one. It doesn't matter. It's called you tell the district, get tutors, get other teachers. I don't care what you have to do. And then go after them for violations. Uphold the special education law. It doesn't matter if my husband was an attorney, he would still have to uphold his law. It's like anybody who goes to work. You have to follow rules and regulations. You have to follow policies. But this judge just wants to keep, oh yeah, I know it's hard, my wife's a teacher. It doesn't matter. Maybe you should go talk to your wife and ask your wife how it affects a child who's not getting education. Maybe you'll get an understanding. You guys heard from my daughter. She watches kids go to school. She sees buses. She just stares out the window. Why can't that be me? Why can't I walk to school with my friends? Why can't I go to school and interact with my peers? Yeah. High school is supposed to be a time for a child to flourish, to make friends, to grow. High school is supposed to help a child grow emotionally, mentally, psychologically, in every aspect of a human being's life, right? High school is supposed to teach you life skills, teach you how to socialize, teach you everything, prepare you for the real world, prepare you in your life. That's what high school does. That's what high school does. They're supposed to help in all these areas. But it's not. It's not helping her. Oh, no, it's not. It's destroying her. So who's going to teach her life skills? Who's going to help her flourish? Who's going to teach her real math? Who's going to teach her real English? Reading, writing, big words, history, science. Where is all that? Never going to get it. But I ain't going to stop. I didn't do this. My husband didn't do this. My daughter didn't do this. The District of Union Township Board of Education, Special Education did this. They did this, not me. I'm just trying to correct injustice and fix the goddamn issue. That's all I'm trying to do. Before I leave, let me tell you something else. I got a letter today. This is the most funniest thing ever. Where's that letter? 1 second, guys. I do apologize. Speaking of ironic, and speaking of the most stupidest thing I have ever seen in my entire life, right? New View Academy, right? New View Academy. The school that she was in, the school that threw her out, sends me a goddamn letter. A letter. Who's no longer there. Telling me my daughter's not been tested. Ooh, look at that. What does it say, guys? Not tested. And this one was for English language arts. Oh, here. This one is for math. What does that say? Not tested. Wow. Not tested. Wow. Not tested, huh? This is a strong assessment. Each one says not tested. English and math, not tested. How can she be tested? She doesn't go to your school. You terminated her. How logic is that? Where's the logic in that? Why are you sending me a letter? You terminated her. But keep this in mind, everyone in the state of New Jersey, every politician, citizen, government, judges, attorneys, police officers, I don't care who you are. But remember one thing. Everyone in this goddamn world has rights, constitution, everything. The right to fight for a right, the right to fight for an education, the right to uphold special education law, the right to defend yourself, the right to course examine anybody and everybody you have to when you're doing this on your own. But remember one thing. Remember one thing. They don't have the right to deny a child, which they are. But keep in mind that no matter how much, how long this is going to take, as long as it does, my child will be suffering. That poor little girl who absolutely did nothing will suffer damages. Will suffer immensely. Will fall apart. Has fallen apart. What do? Besides keep fighting. Can't do much. They won't provide your curriculum. They won't provide your home instructor. Oh, just like she said, Mr. Serrano, her math teacher, doesn't even talk to her anymore. Like she said, she asked for help. He doesn't even say anything. I guarantee you the district is the one who turned around and said, don't educate her, don't educate her, don't educate her. Maybe the parents will give up. That's the way it sounds like. Yeah. That's the way it sounds like. any human being out there that would watch this, we're not asking for money, we're not asking for anything. What we're asking is for people to help help fight this. Somehow get involved, message us, anything, anybody that we can talk to, just help spread the word. Help in any way possible that you can. Anything would do. Make the videos go viral. Show it to your friends, show it to your family, show it to your officials, show it to whoever you have to show it to. You go to bed praying to God every damn day that someone will help you or get involved or do something. And actually listen to what we have to say. You go to bed praying every day that one day your daughter will end up in school again. You don't sleep because your mind goes and goes, well, we should do this, we should do this, what's next, what's next, what are we gonna do, what are we gonna do, what are we gonna do? Keeps you up. You can't concentrate at work. But we want to focus more on COVID. We want to focus on funding, building apartments and condominiums. We want to focus on raising tolls. We want to focus on raising taxes. We want to focus on, every other thing except the most important, crucial thing in the world is an education. We will never touch that issue. This is where we are fighting. All we can say is thank you for watching. Thank you. And I hope someone out there will actually email my husband and somehow find a way to help us do something. Help fight this. Thank you for your time, guys. Have a wonderful holiday.